it's John Lord here, and it's just a short video, and I'm going to mention a few plants. Look at like my other short video. I want to mention a few plants that are looking well at the moment. And oh, look at this. That's the one of the Hypericums, the inodorum. It's looking really good, and that's quite shaded. And the berries don't last a huge amount of time; they go black, and the yellow flowers are quite small, but it's very good, and it's more or less evergreen, more or less deciduous, sort of semi-evergreen. But it's a good plant for a corner, like here. Very reliable. And the Veronicastrum that was cut back, I mentioned it in the last video, it's cut back there. Look, you would never know it was cut back. And that ain't going to fall over. Astilbe Ice Cream is starting to go over, but you leave it alone, and it actually, when the colour fades completely, it sort of goes to a nice subdued, sort of a browny colour, and it's actually okay. You just leave it. You can leave that there until next February. Finally, the Aster Mönch has flowered. Now, we have a little problem in this prairie garden, is the trees here are starting to get quite big and they're taking a lot of light. So it's a little problem. We might have to remove a tree or two. The other Veronicastrum looking very good. And that, oh look at that lovely, what's that, the Sanguisorba. That lovely Sanguisorba hanging down. It's really, really nice. That's the Chinese one, I think. Fennel, we'll have to do something with the fennel next year. It is starting to bully, so we will have to reduce it somehow or remove it. Yeah, there's problems. That's starting to come back in the centre. What I should have done is put a hose in it for an hour. If I even was to do it now, by the end of August and September, that would be in full flower in the centre. And these Persicarias, I found one of the best plants for bees and stuff. Really, really is one of the best. It's never mentioned as a bee plant, but it's just extraordinary the amount of bees and wasps on this plant now. But we have a few things to do. That's sort of interfering with the grass. So we're going to have to remove some branches from that lovely cherry with the mahogany bark. Here, lovely shiny bark. That'll have to be removed. No, I'm not removing the plant. I'm not removing the tree. I might have to get rid of that birch behind, because we've lots of others. But something will have to be done. Bit of weeding to be done here. Now what else? Yeah. This is flopping over, falling onto the Rebecca. It's a Crocosmia, and it was meant to be a particular variety, a short variety, which would have been okay there, and it turned out to be a much taller variety, and it's flopping, and it's just not enough light. It's flopping over, so that has to go. And it would be in a very sunny spot, it wouldn't flop, but it's just not right there. It's not my fault. I was missold something. This, I think, is Pinky Winky, and it was a bit overcrowded. We moved some stuff from it just yesterday, and I'd sort of gone off that one. It hasn't been doing for me, and I'm coming back onto it again. It's doing okay. I think it's a good one. Bit of weeding here. And that's a lovely tree in the right place. It's that tree there, Italian alder. And most importantly, okay, it's time for the Euphorbias. Cut this year's flower stems down, and you cut them well down, and be careful of the white sap doesn't get in your eyes, because you might have to go to A&E. Hey Sheila. you want a spot part in the video? So you can see, Nick, you can see the vegetative growth. This will be next year's flowers. And it's reverted. That's the original variegated, and it's reverted back to the green. And I'm not interfering. I'm leaving. Never particularly liked the variegation. And once again with the euphorbias, I know a man who ended up in hospital. He was working in nursery and he was taking cuttings of them, and he all day was taking cuttings, and he just did that with eye and into the hospital. So that's it. And the Rodgersia, which tells me that I've had drier. They're all talking about how dry it is. I've had drier. If it was really, really, really dry, that would go completely. So it hasn't been, there's been more shears than this year, because I've seen that completely go this time. And we're finishing off here. That was cut back. Kind of cut back hard. I didn't do it. But what will happen is the Rebecchias will fill in, and the aconidiums will come out a bit. They're going to flare very shortly. And the butterflies are back. I wish I knew the names of my butterflies. I do learn them and then I forget them. The painted lady and the red admiral and all those. We have to do something here. No sun. So we'll probably remove that tree. There's loads of trees behind. The new hedge will come up. And so you'll have green, green and green behind. And this Viburnum is starting to get overshadowed by the tree. Now we could take a branch or two down first and see what it looks like. But I always find once you start that, taking branches off, take another one off, take another one off, and then it's all gone. I don't think it's needed. We have that nice yew coming up here. It's going to get bigger. And then finally, we have Young's Weeping Birch, which has got absolutely huge. And we have to do something with it. It's gotten too big. Oh, look at the Carl's Best Yellow, wasn't it good? But we have to bring that in somehow, and I actually don't know what to do. Now, as a general rule, you're better off doing stuff like that in the winter when all the leaves are off, because you can see the actual branch work. But it is getting in people's way. So, I'm making not a bad video. Kind of a Laurel and Hardy video. We might do a video. See, you don't like taking down trees. People don't. It's tricky. Oh, I've noticed something here. Just to finish off in the near-ish point. I think it's Viburnum burkwoodii, and you see this. It's a feltier leaf. You know what that means? That means that was grown in Holland. It was grown in Holland because the Dutch graft Viburnums onto this rootstock. I don't know what variety it is or what species it is, and that's the rootstocks after coming up from below. And that tells me it came from Holland. I don't know whether they still graft them, but that's what they used to do. And that needs to be removed. But I think we need to do a bit of work. And look at the lovely hydrangea, trying to get up for the light. And yellow catalpa totally lost. So it's time. The thing about gardening is, if you have a decent sized garden, even a small garden, every now and again you have to make this decision. Something has to come out. Every gardening has to be done. There was fennel in there. I took it out a few days ago. It was just all fell over. It looked terrible. So there's a gap here to fill as well. But anyway, that's for maybe next week or next year. We'll decide. It's the great thing about gardening, you've plenty of time to decide. Yeah, hello, I've decided to take a little bit off with the secateurs now, just as a whole an exercise, and I would feel more comfortable. I feel much more comfortable doing a heavy, like a comprehensive job in the winter when I can see. I don't want it to look like one of those bowl haircuts from the Beatles time. And the same with that tree. What I'll do is I'll take a few. We go in and we'll. Let's see, can we get this in here? We'll take a few bits off this. Oh, look at that lovely phlox. Hopefully, that will just tell you about those phlox, how good they are, even in semi-shade. So. Yeah. That's, let me see, a bit more respectable. How are we getting on? We've been here for a week. So in the winter I'll get a ladder, I'll go up into it and take big branches down. And the birch, well, this is a form of our native birch, Betula pendula, and it grows, it's known as the upland birch. It grows in upland areas, drier areas, where the downy birch is the one that grows in the bogs, the bog birch. And it's not as nice as this one. This is the lady of the woods. So that's enough. I'll spend another few minutes at this, and I'm half tempted to get the machine that makes the noise, just to take a few more bits off, but I'm not going to go mad. Actually looking better already, not looking at sort of all over, all encompassing. It's looking a bit lighter, but once again I'm trying to avoid that bowl haircut look. This is it. Okay, that's it. And then in the olden days, if it was the winter, what you would do was you get bunches of these. Like that. And you cut them across here like that. And then you put a stick and you tie a stick onto them and you have your fierce broom. It's what our ancestors used. Okay, that's it. Or maybe this one. I actually, when I started, I did a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And then I got a little saw out and cut here and here and here. And it's actually much better. And with a few more little bits, I mightn't have to, this tree mightn't have to go it off.